What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, have you guys noticed, if you look at pictures of Jason Whitlock over the last few years, that he never smiles, and he has a perpetual frown on his face? He's never smiling, and when he does smile, it's like a forced smile. Like his whole face isn't involved in the joy. It's a mask. It's like the lower part of his face will slowly etch into this unfamiliar, this, for him, unfamiliar contortion of his face, which mimics a grin, because inside he's, dying on the inside of, shame and humiliation and low self-worth. And to see other people happy, especially people that look like him, because, he doesn't, when he looks in the mirror, he hates what he sees. You know that. We know that. When he looks in the mirror, and I'm not talking about him because he's big. This is just not a knock on him because he's big. I'm a big guy. I'm not fat like him. I'm not a fucking gelatinous blob of glue like him. But he hates himself because he's been, in his mind, taught to feel that way about himself. And he projects it onto others. It's so easy to see this shit. It's so easy. So, a black man, who is almost as universally beloved by almost everybody. When Dion was in his prime, I don't really remember too many people that didn't like him. You know why? Because like a Muhammad Ali in the 70s, not in the 60s, but in the 70s, because white folks hated him in the 60s. By the 70s, they loved him. And I'm going to tell you why. And same thing with Michael Jordan. Even though Michael Jordan wasn't overtly braggadocio, but in private he was. Everybody loves someone who brags. Or I put it like this. I take it back. Let me rephrase this a different way. People don't like someone who brags about themselves all the time, and they don't have a reason for doing it. But people love people who not only perform at a high level, but can brag and back it up and then some. When you can do that, plus you have a charming personality, then people love you, man. And then, you look at Dion, he's everything that this guy will never be. Women consider him handsome. Got a badass fucking wife or girlfriend, whatever she is. I think it's his wife. He keeps himself in shape. He looks damn near the same at 56 as he did when he was 26. Whereas with this guy, just in the last 10 years, man, you can see when you frown all the time, when your face is put into a perpetual balled up catcher's mitt frown like that, your skin creases, and age and lines and all of this shit pop into your face and shit. When you lose credibility from even the people who are in your profession because you tell people like Venus Williams that she's out of shape, and you tell certain athletes they have control problems, and people look at you from the side and seeing that, you look like baby Huey, like you carrying quadruplets, and they laugh at you because like you don't have any credibility. Know your limitations. Nothing is as bad as someone who has an ego but has no reason to have an ego. That's why a guy like Jerry Krause was so, universally hated. The opposite. Jerry Krause had this huge massive ego. But Jerry Krause looked like fucking Gargamel's uglier young brother or some shit. Like, I don't get it, man. And then this dude, what the fuck, man? So to me, yeah, it's clearly an issue where Deion Sanders' joy bothers him. Seeing black people root for a guy and get the love from the community that he never received bothers him. So he takes all the hate that he can muster up and spews venom that he knows that the audience that wouldn't even let him come in the front door 50, 60 years ago, if he lived in their neighborhood, wouldn't even speak to him or serve them dinner if they had eaten establishments 60, 70 years ago. That audience that he has who only listen to him so they can hear someone that looks like him say what they say in private, but he gets to say it in public because he looks a different way. And maybe he understands and don't even give a fuck because, he's just all about the check. Whatever it takes to cash in so he can eat those biscuits and eat those, double quarter pounders and big old extra steroid enhanced chicken breasts at Golden Corral, whatever it is that can add to his food budget, that's what he'll do, But it's a shame. That's what he does. Says what he thinks they want to hear, no matter how demeaning it is toward him, really. That's how far gone he is. That's how far gone he is, man. And some people, man, that for some reason love this man. Well, I mean, I'm not saying they're not intelligent people, but there's some of the people who can, like I said before, they can look at each tree and identify each leaf and tell you, what type of leaf it is and all of that, and the worms and the woodpeckers. They can tell you the little things in detail, but they can't see the forest for the trees. Yeah, he says some things that are true. He makes some points. But the difference between him and someone who dared to compare him to me is that he will never blame the puppet master. He blames the puppets who look like him for everything. Yeah, and the puppets share some blame, but he'll never blame the puppet masters. I will. I call out shit on all sides. He won't do that because he's a coward. So anyway, that's just how I look at this dude, man. And that's why whenever he goes on his rants, and by the way, he's always going to move the goalposts. Because at first it was, what was it? Deion was going to lose. Deion was going to fail. Now it's attacking the quality of the opponents now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they weren't doing this last year when they only won one game in Colorado and lost by an average of 29 points per game. They weren't doing that last year. But anyway, like I said in my other video prior to this one, man, these guys, they always show their true colors whenever we show solidarity toward an individual. They're the reason why we're the way we are, because we can't show solidarity, because these guys, whenever we rally behind someone, here they come out to do their jobs. And that's to distract and cause mayhem. They're like the the counterattack with the other main group that hates all the time on us, you know. But that's how I look at it, man. They're allied with the other group to hate on us. So it's like we can never win. We can't win. Damn, we already battling one enemy who we can kind of clearly define. Then we have another enemy that looks like us. We think they're on our side, but they're not. And then some of us don't see it. So that's the conundrum that we're in, man. That's why we're the state that we are.